Hey everyone, welcome back to the Gold IRA Blueprint podcast. Today, we are doing a deep dive into gold IRAs and how they can be a powerful tool for your retirement.
It's an exciting area to explore, especially now with so much interest in this type of investment.
Yeah, and especially with all this talk about gold IRAs for high net worth families and family offices these days.
Exactly. There's a reason for that.
For good reason, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be unpacking all of that today. How a gold IRA can help you hedge against inflation, how it can diversify your portfolio, and we'll even touch on some of the estate tax advantages.
Really important stuff for anyone looking to secure their financial future.
Absolutely. Now, before we jump in,
Mm.
I do want to mention for those of you looking for a simple way to navigate the sometimes confusing world of gold IRAs, that we have a free checklist over at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive to help you choose the right gold IRA company for you.
It's a great resource we put together to break down the process.
Okay, so let's get to it. What exactly is a gold IRA?
Well, it's interesting. When you think about a gold IRA, it's almost like going back to the basics, going back to the fundamentals of value. Because at its core, a gold IRA is an individual retirement account. But instead of holding like stocks or bonds, it holds physical gold or other precious metals.
So it's about owning something tangible, something real.
Exactly. You're not just looking at numbers on a screen. You're holding a piece of history, a piece of something that has held inherent value for centuries.
And I imagine that's especially appealing in times like these when things feel so uncertain.
Absolutely. People want that sense of security.
But why would someone choose this over a traditional IRA? What makes it so different?
I think it comes down to security and stability. That tangible asset aspect that we were talking about. I mean, we've seen a few economic storms lately, haven't we? And when that happens, people often flock to gold as a safe haven.
It's seen as a store of value that can weather those market fluctuations.
Exactly. It's like that steady rock in a turbulent sea.
Okay, so let's get into some specific benefits for someone like you who's thinking about their retirement. Now, our research has shown that there are three major advantages to having a gold IRA,
Yeah, some really compelling reasons to consider it.
especially for family offices. So what's the first one?
The first one is inflation protection. And we all know how inflation can just eat away at your savings, right? It makes it harder to maintain your lifestyle, especially in retirement. But historically, gold has actually risen in value as inflation increases.
So that's interesting. So it acts as a kind of a buffer against those rising costs.
Exactly. It's like a built-in safeguard to help protect your purchasing power and keep you on solid ground.
That's a huge relief for retirees who are often on a fixed income. And what about the second benefit?
Well, the second one is portfolio diversification. Gold often moves inversely to the stock market, which is important.
Oh, it's an interesting point.
Yeah, so think of it like a seesaw. When stocks go down, gold tends to go up and vice versa.
It's like a balancing act.
Exactly, and that makes it an incredibly valuable tool for balancing your portfolio and managing risk, especially in today's volatile market.
So it's not about putting all your eggs in one basket. It's about strategically spreading your investments to ride out those market waves.
Precisely.
Okay. And what is that third big advantage?
The tax benefits. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, especially for those of you with larger estates. Gold IRAs offer tax-deferred growth, meaning you don't pay taxes on your earnings until you withdraw them in retirement.
So that's similar to a traditional IRA.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. If you choose a Roth Gold IRA, your distributions in retirement are actually tax-free.
Wow. So there's a potential for significant tax savings, both now and in the future.
Absolutely, and that can make a huge difference when it comes to preserving your wealth, not just for you, but for your heirs as well.
And, that brings us back to that idea of a gold IRA as a hedge against volatility.
Right.
But how much of their IRA should someone actually allocate to gold? Is there like a general guideline for that?
Well, there's really no one-size-fits-all answer to that question. The key is to align your gold allocation with your individual risk tolerance and your investment horizon. So, for example, someone with a long-term outlook, let's say 20 years or more, they might dedicate 10% to 20% of their portfolio to gold. But if you're closer to retirement or you're seeking more immediate protection, that percentage might actually be higher. It's all about finding that sweet spot for your own unique situation.
Okay, that makes sense. It's about personalizing your approach to retirement planning. And speaking of planning, we can't overlook estate planning. Gold IRAs are often mentioned as a way to potentially offset estate tax exposure, particularly for larger estates. Now, I know the estate tax threshold is always changing, but Currently, it's set at $12.92 million for 2025.
That's a significant number, especially for high net worth families.
Absolutely. And this is where I think that tangible nature of gold comes into play again. Unlike stocks or bonds, it's an asset you can actually hold in your hand, something that can be passed down through generations, potentially even maintaining its value over time.
I love that you brought that up because it's not just about the numbers, it's about legacy. It's about building something that can last.
It's about creating a tangible connection to the past and the future. And speaking of legacy, there's also the potential for gold IRAs to help build generational wealth through that tax-deferred growth we were talking about.
Absolutely. And this is where the magic of compounding really starts to work its wonders. By delaying taxes on those earnings, you allow them to grow more significantly over time, potentially creating a much larger nest egg to pass down to your heirs.
It sounds like Roth Gold IRAs are particularly well suited for this goal, given the tax-free distributions for heirs. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, they're definitely gaining a lot of popularity, especially for larger estates, because with a Roth Gold IRA, your heirs inherit that wealth without being burdened by taxes on those distributions. It can really help ensure a smooth and efficient transfer of wealth to future generations.
Before we move on, just a quick reminder to our listeners about our free resource that can help you choose the right gold IRA company for your needs.
It's a checklist we put together that can really make a difference.
You can find it over at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive.
And it's completely free.
Now let's switch gears a little bit here. We've talked about all these potential advantages, but I'm sure there are also some tax implications and legal considerations to keep in mind with gold IRAs.
Absolutely. It's essential to be informed and prepared when navigating this landscape.
So what do people need to be aware of?
Yeah, well, first off, staying up to date on those current tax laws and IRS regulations is absolutely crucial.
Oh yeah, definitely. Things are always changing.
For example, for the year 2025, the IRA contribution limit is $6,500 for individuals under 50
Okay,
and $7,500 for those 50 and older. So that's something to be aware of.
gotcha.
And then the IRS also has those specific requirements for the gold you can actually hold.
Okay,
Typically, it needs to be a 0.995 pure or higher.
for the coins and bars.
Right, for those coins and bars, and it has to be stored in an approved depository.
So it's not just about buying some gold and sticking it in your safe deposit box.
Not at all. No, no, no. Choosing the right custodian and depository is super important.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They are the ones who guide you through all those IRS regulations and ensure you're in full compliance.
Oh, that brings up something else that's been on my mind with gold IRAs. Estate taxes.
Right.
It seems a little counterintuitive, given the potential estate planning benefits that we discussed.
Yeah, I can see why you would think that.
Can you clarify that a little bit?
Yeah, you're right to point that out. While a gold IRA does provide those tax advantages during your lifetime, the value of that gold is still included in your taxable estate upon death.
Okay, so you're saying it's not a total exemption?
Right, not a total exemption, but even with that factor, gold IRAs can still be incredibly powerful in reducing that overall tax burden. It's all about strategy.
It's a tool in the broader estate planning strategy.
Exactly. It's one piece of the larger puzzle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And remember, you can combine a gold IRA with other strategies like irrevocable trusts or charitable giving to further optimize your estate plan and minimize taxes for your heirs.
Okay, so it's about that holistic approach to estate planning.
Exactly.
It's not just about one single account. It's about how all the pieces work together to achieve your goal.
And, let's not forget about the sheer practicality of gold as an inheritance.
Ugh.
I mean, unlike a volatile stock, which could be here today, gone tomorrow,
Yeah.
gold is a tangible asset that can be passed down for generations. I mean, imagine holding a gold coin that your great-grandparents once held.
Yeah.
There's a sense of history and continuity there that's hard to replicate with other assets.
It's not just financial, it's emotional too.
It is. It's a legacy that you can hold in your hands.
Speaking of holding gold, let's talk about the different types you can actually put in a gold IRA.
Right.
Is it just gold bars or are there other options?
Well, gold bars are certainly popular. You can also hold gold coins.
Yeah.
And it's not just gold either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can hold other precious metals like silver, platinum, and palladium.
Okay, so it's really more like a precious metals IRA.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. And each metal has its own characteristics and market behavior,
Wait, what?
offering even more options for diversification.
So you can really tailor those investments to your specific needs and goals.
Exactly, you've got options.
It sounds almost like a collector's dream, but I imagine it could get pretty complicated choosing the right mix of metals.
It can be, yeah.
Where do you even start?
Well, that's where a reputable and knowledgeable gold IRA custodian comes in.
Oh, okay.
That's key. They'll consider things like your risk tolerance, your investment horizon, and your overall financial goals, and help you create that portfolio of precious metals that truly aligns with your needs.
Sounds like having a trusted expert in your corner is essential.
Oh, absolutely. They can be your guide. They're like that seasoned captain navigating your ship through potentially choppy financial waters.
Okay, so having a guide is important. And speaking of navigating, I've heard that storage is actually a really crucial aspect of a gold IRA.
It
I'm
is.
guessing you can't just stash those gold bars under the mattress.
No, you're absolutely right. The IRS has those strict rules regarding the storage of precious metals in a gold IRA.
Okay, what are the rules?
They have to be held in an IRS-approved depository.
So like Fort Knox for retirement savings?
Pretty much. These depositories offer that high level of protection and peace of mind that you just wouldn't get storing metals at home.
Makes sense.
They're insured, they're secure, and they're designed specifically to meet all those IRS regulations.
So you know your investment is safe and sound.
Mm.
Okay, so let's walk through the process of actually setting up a gold IRA. What are the main steps involved?
Well, it's actually pretty straightforward. First, you choose a gold IRA custodian,
Okay.
that trusted partner that we've been talking about.
Okay.
Then you establish a self-directed IRA. This type of IRA gives you more control over your investment choices.
Oh, okay. So with a self-directed IRA, you're not limited to the investments offered by a specific brokerage firm.
Exactly. You have the freedom to choose those alternative assets like gold and other precious metals. It's about taking ownership of your retirement savings.
I like that. Control and flexibility.
It's a recurring theme with gold IRAs.
Yeah. So you've chosen your custodian, you've set up your self-directed IRA. What's the next step?
Well, next you fund your account.
Okay.
You can do this a couple of ways. You can roll over funds from an existing IRA or a 401k.
Uh-huh.
It's a tax-advantaged way to diversify your holdings. Or you can make a direct contribution.
Okay, so you could potentially shift some of your current retirement savings over if you're feeling confident about gold as an investment.
Absolutely.
And once your account's funded, what's that final step?
This is the exciting part. You actually purchase your gold or other precious metals.
Okay.
And your custodian will be there to help you through the process every step of the way.
That makes sense.
They'll connect you with those reputable dealers and make sure that the metals you choose meet all the IRS requirements we discussed earlier.
So it sounds pretty seamless when you have the right guidance.
Absolutely.
And then once you've made your purchases, those precious metals are safely stored in that IRS-approved depository.
Correct. And from there, you can track your investment's performance and make adjustments just like with any other retirement account.
So it really does come full circle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, gold IRAs offer a way to take control of your financial future, diversify your holdings, and hedge against uncertainty. But it's clear that having that knowledge and the expert guidance is key.
You hit the nail on the head. Before you jump in, it's essential to really do your research, understand the intricacies of gold IRAs, and most importantly, find a custodian you can trust. They can really help you navigate this landscape and make informed decisions that align with your long-term goals.
And speaking of informed decisions, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I just want to remind everyone about that valuable free resource we mentioned for a helpful checklist to guide you in choosing the right gold IRA company.
It's a fantastic tool.
You can visit goldirablueprint.com/exclusive.
It's a must-have resource.
All right, well, we'll be right back after a quick break to finish up our deep dive into the world of gold IRAs. Welcome back to the Gold IRA Blueprint podcast. You know, the more we talk about this topic, the more I'm struck by that sense of security and stability that gold seems to offer, especially in today's world.
Yeah, it really is a fascinating paradox, isn't it? In a world that's becoming increasingly digital and intangible, here we have this ancient physical asset that continues to hold its allure, its value. I mean, gold has been a store of value for millennia, weathering countless economic storms and geopolitical upheaval.
Like a thread that connects us to the past, while at the same time providing that potential bridge to a more secure financial future. But let's be realistic for a second. One concern I've heard about gold is that prices can fluctuate. So how should investors approach that volatility?
You're right. Gold prices, fluctuate like any other investment. But I think it's important to remember that those short-term swings are less relevant when we're talking about long-term retirement savings.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And history has shown us that Gold tends to hold its value remarkably well over those longer time horizons.
So it's not about trying to time the market perfectly. It's about taking that long view and understanding gold's role as a stable asset within a diversified portfolio.
Exactly. Think of it like a ballast in your ship. It helps steady the course even when the seas get rough. It's that inherent stability that makes gold such an attractive addition to a retirement plan, especially when you consider all the uncertainties that we might face in the future.
And that brings to mind another point that really resonated with me in our research: the potential for gold IRAs to help protect wealth from those unpredictable geopolitical risks. I mean, we live in a complex world, and it seems like there's always something brewing on the global stage that can impact the markets.
Absolutely. That's a very astute observation. Throughout history, gold has often been seen as a safe haven during times of geopolitical turmoil.
Yeah, I can see that.
When currencies fluctuate, markets become volatile, uncertainty reigns, gold tends to hold its value. It provides that sense of stability and security that transcends borders and political systems.
It's like a universal language of value, something that's understood and recognized worldwide, no matter what's happening in the headlines.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so appealing for those looking to diversify their assets beyond those traditional investments.
It gives you options.
Does. A
Yep.
gold IRA offers a way to step outside of that traditional financial system, holding a tangible asset with inherent value that's not tied to the performance of stocks or bonds or other paper assets.
So it's about having a well-rounded portfolio that can weather a variety of economic storms, whether they originate from inflation or market volatility or global events. It's about having options and taking control of your financial destiny.
You got it. And that sense of control is incredibly empowering, especially as you approach retirement. Knowing that you have a portion of your wealth secured in an asset that has truly stood the test of time can bring peace of mind and confidence as you navigate the complexities of the financial world.
And speaking of valuable resources, let's remind everyone about that free checklist to help them choose the right Gold IRA company for their needs. You can find it over at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive.
It's a fantastic tool to guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions and find a custodian who truly aligns with your needs and goals.
Choosing the right custodian is crucial. They're your trusted guide, your advocate throughout this entire journey. As we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear that Gold IRAs offer a unique blend of benefits that can really enhance your retirement plan and your overall wealth preservation strategy. Whether you're seeking protection from inflation, a way to diversify your portfolio, or a hedge against uncertainty, Gold IRAs are definitely worth serious consideration.
Absolutely. It all comes down to empowering yourself with knowledge, seeking expert guidance, and making choices that resonate with your personal financial goals and aspirations. A gold IRA may not be the right fit for everyone, but for those seeking stability, security, and a tangible link to the enduring value of gold, it can be a powerful tool for building a brighter financial future.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with a final thought to ponder. In a world that's constantly evolving, sometimes it's the things that have remained constant for centuries that offer the greatest sense of security. As you continue your financial journey, consider the role that gold could play in shaping your future. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep